boop boop boo boo boop 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 boo boo boop 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 boo boo boo.
What about now?
What about now?
Oh man, I know we back now.
What about now? Oh man, I know we back now. What about now? Oh man, I know we back now.
We back now for sure. Let's get some fire in the chat. Let's get some hundreds in the chat. We back now. Yes, sir. Anyways, like I was saying. I hope you enjoying your Wednesday on this Wednesday night special. You know what I'm saying? I hope you had a smooth day at work because they want you to be upset. They want you to be afraid. I said all this like 10 minutes ago, but y'all couldn't hear me. So I got to say it again. You know what I'm saying? They want you to be afraid. They want you to be angry. They want you to be sad. They want you to be feel like you have no power over what's going on around you. I live in the most country. Well, it depends on how you look at it. But I do want to comment on your last live. It was fire. You gave out useful information and told people how alignment is key for manifestation. Right on, brother. I'm just doing the Lord's work, my brother. It's not me. I can't take credit for it. I'm not so charismatic that I just want to get in front of people. I mean, I've always been a performer my whole life. Go check my background. I've been doing commercials since I was a little boy. But anyways, this spark, this flame I got in me where I only want to benefit the people. That's not me. That's something is using me. I'm being used. And thank God that I'm useful for his kingdom at this time. I'm grateful for that. That's the best thing that's going on in my life. The most successful part of me isn't no money, isn't no properties, isn't no platform. The most successful thing for me is that I'm able to be used. Because, like Sauce Walker said, either you're useful or you're useless. And there's no problem with using people. Just don't misuse people. I want y'all to use me. Use me for information. Use me for resources. Use me for information. Use me. Because I'm using y'all right now. I'm using y'all to get this off. I'm using y'all to spark something. I'm using you right now. Use me. Use me. Use me. Discipline is key. Buzz, God's vessel to manifestation. You have to be in alignment first. Yeah, you got to be in alignment first for sure. You definitely do. We can talk more about that in just a second. But I want to let y'all know what's going on around you. We live in the most outwardly racist country since Ronald Reagan. And that's a fact. Don't forget to double tap the screen, by the way, guys. We are the biggest, by the way. I go by the name Solarman. I'm out of here for real. Today, we just talking about how we some selective bullies. Like, you know, do you guys believe that we as Americans, we talk about this kind of often on the channel, but do you guys believe that we as Americans have the right to defend and protect our borders? Let me answer that for you. Yes, we do. We have the right to defend, protect our borders. We have the right to a sovereign, that's what it's called, the inalienable right as a nation, as a country, to have protection on our borders, to protect our freedoms. That's what makes a place sovereign. I use you with the information. Keep using me. You're inspirational, fam. I appreciate that, Brody. But like I said, I'm being used, brother. And we only getting bigger. Like, this is the smallest we'll ever be. This is the smallest it'll ever be. This is the smallest that this thing that we doing will ever be. So I appreciate you being here in the beginning stages. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm talking about is we live today in the most racist, outwardly racist, racially prejudiced country in the world. Why would I say that? Where do I get that information from? I get that information from, this is one example. I get that information from, right now, Trump and his administration just backed off of protecting black neighborhoods. They say black and Latino. You know, they always try to make it seem like it's brown pride, and it's not. It's not. I don't even know. Yo, can someone tell me what the heck is brown pride and what is black pride? Can someone tell me that? Because I've never seen a black person in my life. I've seen somebody whose skin was so filled with melanin that they almost look blue, but I've never seen a black person in my life. Brown, I can rock with brown, but then if you brown, why you call me black? I'm not black. This is black. This is black. Anyways, let me tell you the information. The information is this. The information is Trump just and his administration just backed off of programs because they, Doge and all that stuff. They was cutting funding to programs that, benefited a lot of people in the name of waste spending and stuff like that. And they specifically don't like any programs that that benefit one minority group over the other. Before I get to y'all comments, let me just finish this thought real quick so I can get it out. So what happens is they just backed off of programs that made sure, or that tackled rather and addressed companies, large companies, illegally dumping their trash and their waste into neighborhoods with black and brown people. They just backed off of that. I gotta dance to stop from crying. They want me dead. They want me dead. They don't care if my neighborhood is trashy, with smog and polluting. They don't care about none of that. So the Trump administration just backed off a program starting effective today, where they double down, or they enforce making sure that we don't get trash left in our neighborhoods. Because, historically speaking, what these companies would do, they used to do them in small towns in America where they had, you seen the movies, you saw the movies where they dump the waste in the river, and companies, the neighborhoods and stuff will end up, the residents will end up getting lung cancers, brain cancers, all types of cancers, and they had to stop doing that. And so then instead of doing it in these small white neighborhoods, they said, hey, all right, let's do it in places don't nobody care about nothing about. Let's do it in places where the law doesn't really protect its people. Let's do it in places where the deplorable Americans live. Let's do it in black neighborhoods. Let's dump all our shit in their neighborhoods. They want you to go crazy. So, I might as well meet them there. I might as well get there first because they want me to go crazy. With the lack of morality and etiquette of a regime, they want me to go crazy. They want me to do something. They want me to get outside like them white boys from January 6th. And they want me to do something so they can shoot me. So they can double down on what they already doing. They want me to go crazy, bro. So I'm gonna meet them there. I'm already there. And I'm not crazy. No, crazy is crazy. Crazy is believing something's gonna change from this type of people, this type of white boy. That's crazy. Believing that they're gonna change. Believing that any black people that support this type of white boy is gonna change. That any Latino people that support these type of white people are gonna change that. White people that support these type of white people are gonna change. That's crazy. It's not just a white thing. Anybody that's supporting this current administration, you kind of like are going against humanity. Don't get me wrong, though. I'm not saying that everything before that was better. No, I'm not here to say that. Because again, if y'all ever listen to me, and for those of y'all that's gonna be watching this back, I say it all the time. The USA has not had one single president, ever. That's impossible for us to have one single president when all the presidents have been related. Before I get to my next point, let me read some of y'all comments. When you say racist, you talking about one race We're all different shades of brown. We're all made from the dirt. Yep. I agree to that one. But before I answer that, let me read the other thing you said. I was about to use you for something else, but then I listened to what you were saying. LOL. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna keep moving forward though. I don't know what you're talking about, Diddy. I don't know what you're talking about, Diddy. Y'all, we got a groovy young man in the comments today. What's up with it, big bro? I appreciate you stopping by, checking in, ain't cheating. Y'all know Hoover Goovy, Hoover Goovy, Hoover Gumby. What's up with it, big bro? What's up with it? What's up with it? What's up with it? It's pleasure to be speaking with you, bro. I miss you. They want me to be crazy. They want me to be crazy. I'm gonna start using your content. Yes, sir. That'll be a pleasure of mine, brother. That'll be a pleasure of mine, brother. Use. You know what I'm saying? I've been moving and shit, bro. I got a content house and shit in Ohio where I've been moving to. So like, I kind of like ain't been like clipping and stuff like I've been post to. But anyways, use all this shit because we need to do some more shit. We finna do some more shit. You know what I'm saying? If you don't come out to the content house in Ohio, you know what I'm saying? I'm for sure making my way back to Vegas and LA and shit and stuff early next year. So for sure, use all this shit because that's what we do this for. I just earlier you might have missed it. I just said that we right on. Just let me know. I just said earlier in the live though that it's nothing wrong with using people. People, it's something wrong when you misuse somebody. Don't misuse nobody. But we all need to be useful. Because right now, we live in a place where they don't care about nobody. I just told y'all, they just ended federal funding programs that ensured that companies just can't come in these black and brown neighborhoods and just dump all their shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. They just, you already know how I do. You already know how I do, Groove. You know what I'm saying? But I'm cooking. They just ended a federal program where they're not gonna put any type of federal regulations on companies dumping shit in our neighborhoods. That's a declaration of war, people. What makes something a fascist regime? What is fascism, first of all? What is fascism? Fascism is when a country government has complete control, autonomy over the people, and where their policies directly go against the best interest of the people. Keeping big corporations and regulating corporations from dumping trash into my neighborhoods was something that was for me. It ensured that it ensured a healthy life for me. If you end a program like that, you're killing me. We still living in slavery. Do you agree? So slavery technically ended when Jim Crow ended, and when the last effects and policies of Jim Crow ended in around 1975 or so, in the 70s for sure. So we are just now getting out of slavery. And the reason that I have for that, to support that, not only because Jim Crow policies and stuff like that did, the last of them on paper did end, as far as, just law and not necessarily the medical system or the justice system, but the stuff that ended, on paper, like, that, blacks ain't gotta check in, just the major shit ended around 1975. But the stuff that's going on right now is the after effects of that. This is still a new country, people. I know we be watching these movies about where America done came from. Yeah, we done came a long way. We done came a long way with a lot of bullshit. We done came a long way with a lot of bullshit. I got to dance to stop from crying. I got to dance to stop from crying. We done came a long way for some bullshit. How do y'all feel about, before I move on to my next point, I just got to emphasize that that's really going on. That's something that's really going on. They don't give a damn about my country being dirty. I mean, my neighborhoods being dirty. They don't give a damn about the studies that they've been doing since the 60s about when you dump large amounts of waste in particular areas and you concentrate that garbage in particular areas, then the residual effects from that, because it's called runoff. It's called runoff. The runoff from that, you know, the trash and shit when it seeps into the ground, and then the trash and shit when it seeps into the water, because it's gonna rain. It's gonna, you feel me? All that stuff's gonna happen. Animals are gonna come get it. They're gonna come take it. They're gonna come spread throughout the neighborhood. They're gonna doo-doo. You feel me? It's going to happen. It's gonna be spread out. So when that happens and it's spread out, you know what I'm saying? And the runoff gets into my water, it has been studied and it's been proven that those can lead to various amounts of cancer. Different forms of hepatitis form that way. Herpes, y'all know herpes, right? Herpes. What's up with it, everybody? I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to double tap the screen because we are the biggest, by the way. So I appreciate y'all being here on this Wednesday night special. And welcome to the most racist country in the known on the west side of the world. I would say the whole world, but that's not true at all. The west side of the world, for sure. I might as well beat you at being crazy. I might as well do that. I might as well be crazy first, because they want me to be crazy. So this just happened, particularly in the Houston community. Houston being one of the largest cities in America. Houston being one of the epicenters for the Latino community and for the Black community. They've really had this issue. I myself, in my city of Dallas and Cincinnati, Ohio, we definitely have issues of illegal trash dumping in neighborhoods in Cincinnati, and neighborhoods in the Oak Cliff areas and West Dallas areas in Texas as well. So what does this mean when Trump and his agencies remove any funding from agencies that hold companies like this accountable? What it means is that these people are telling us that they do not value our safety, our health, or our lives. Woo! I might as well beat you at being crazy. I might as well be crazy first. That way, when it's time for me to inhale those toxins, drink that water, cut my grass, grow my food, and that cancer starts forming in my blood, I beat you to it. I beat you to it. So that's one thing that's going on. The second thing that goes on, what's up from Brazil, man? Do I use drugs? Not like you think. No, not like you say I do. I don't use cocaine. I don't use, fentanyl. I don't use shabu. I don't use crystal meth. I don't use. You know? And if I did do it, I'd be doing the drugs. The drugs wouldn't be doing me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's a good little segue. They say I'd be getting off topic and stuff like that. So I'm going to address you very briefly. I'm going to get back to the course of the rhetoric that I was given about, my government allowing major corporations and companies to illegally dump their trash in my neighborhoods, which is very important to me. I'm going to address your country very briefly. Brazil, other than USA, is also one of the most racist places in the world. You people are disgusting with how you treat my people, with how you treat your brown people. Horrible. Horrible the way you guys act. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Anyways, so we already understand that if you allow the illegal dumping into my neighborhoods, then that is a recourse against my life. You are telling me that you do not value the nutritional or the overall well-being of my mental, emotional, and physical health. You have let that be known. So now that we understood that they are letting that be known, what are we going to do about that particular issue? I say that we do what the Black Panther Party movement always intended, and we do for thyself. And we enforce, we have neighborhood patrols. So I'm from a neighborhood. So, you know, I'm from like kind of like the best places in the country. You know, not only do I got ties in the West Coast, I got ties in the South, I got ties in the East Coast. I'm a true American, guys. I'm a true American, people. I'm a true American. But anyways, from the neighborhood that I'm from in Ohio, though, it's called Lincoln Heights, Ohio. We made the news all the time, but we recently made the news early February 2025 this year because, you know, Nazis came on the bridge and stuff like that, and then what we did and what we responded, not me, because I wasn't doing that. But what everybody else did, you know, a bunch of people did, was they walked around with guns and stuff like that and patrolled our neighborhoods for about a 60-day period. That's what happened. That's what happened. So what I suggest that we do in response to situations like this is that we patrol our own neighborhoods, and we ensure that when companies are backing up their truck, because they do it in the middle of the night, they do it around 3 to 5 a.m. That's when they do it. I've seen the trucks. That's when they come. That's when they come. So when they come and they do this, the response should always be that they should be met with a committee of people, with a large sum of people. They should be met with at least 5 to 10 armed men and women. We should be armed, and we should be meeting them when they try to bring when they try to dump their trash into our lakes, in our ponds, in our neighborhoods within a 10 to 15 mile radius from any of our communities. We should meet them with assault rifles, because that's the American way. People, that is the American way. You see my army fatigue on. That is the American way. That if I don't like something and you are coming against me and my community, my neighborhood, my children, my women, my young men, those that are vulnerable, you are coming against me, my American right is to pull out a gun and tell you I don't like it. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Welcome in. For those of y'all that's going to be watching this back, we're talking about how we live in the most outwardly prejudiced and biased and insidiously racially bigoted country in the known world. We do currently here in the USA. So don't forget to double tap that screen. It's very easy to do. That just lets us know that we are the biggest, and it can help spread us in the algorithm. So the response is to meet all of this with armed resistance. How about set traps? So now we're just talking about full-on engagement within a what's called a shadow war. Excuse me. Now you're just talking about full-on engagement in what's called a shadow war, and I'm not against that. But I would just say that because that's us being on the offensive instead of the defensive. I'm not against that. But what happens when you do that? You give credence and you give way for a regime like Trump to classify us as terrorists. Because anytime black people, anytime we mask up. Anytime we mask up and we got our firearms and we patrol our own neighborhoods, we get labeled as terrorists. I don't know if you knew that. Unlike the KKK, who's never been classified as a domestic terrorist organization. Unlike white nationals, unlike organizations like that, we get classified as terrorists. So you got to be careful as to your approach when even defending yourself. You have to be careful in a country like this. And we already went full solo mode, so I might as well take it there. This country actively wants to kill its black people, and if it can't kill us, it wants to use us as a slave class. That's what Make America Great Again is all about, making us slaves again, on paper. That's what makes America great again. I recently just watched a live, like one of these lives from a Christian. He fit all the stereotypes that those people employ on my people. So he was a Christian, right winged. I'm not air quoting right wing. He's right wing for sure, but he's the Christian part. I'm air quoting. He was Christian, right winged, blue lives matter, all lives matter except black lives, blue lives matter, back the badge, special forces type of white guy. And he was like, we have to protect our, you got to be willing to die for the protection of your family, of your faith. You got to be willing to die for that. Like, we always want to talk about how, we need to vote on things and stuff like that. But when you get a regime that's actively letting in illegals and stuff that'll kill, I'm just telling you what he said, that'll actively kill, rape our women and children and stuff like that. You got to be willing to die to protect yours. And I was watching him and I was like, I was inspired by him. He inspired me. He inspired me to keep going and to keep these on deck, but then also keep my weapons ready for people like him. He inspired me to do that. He let me know that there's very, very so many people just like him that actually believe that they are on the defense against tyranny in the world and they are not the causes of destruction around the world. That's what he inspired me to know that I'm not wrong about that. He inspired me that way. That brings me also to my next topic, which is that in this country, we have been very selective and very careful with the type of immigrant that we want in this country. Before I get to that point, though, you know what I mean? This is unscheduled live, so I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to double tap the screen. That just reminds us that we are the biggest, by the way, and that just helps us push in the algorithm. So I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to double tap. Let me see what y'all talking about. You're right. How much snow you get, Blue? I don't know what you mean. I don't think you should have a gun. You too hype. LOL. I already got plenty of guns. It's too late. It's too late, bro. It's too late, bro. Bro, it's too late. I got plenty of guns and knives. I be getting punched on sometimes too. It's too late, bro. It's too late. If you don't think I should have a gun, you are not a true American, my friend, because it is my American right to bear arms, brother. It's my American right to bear arms, brother. Don't you tell me anything different. I know my rights, brother. We got 11 inches total, no diddy. I shouldn't have read that shit. I shouldn't have read that. It's like I seen it, but it's like I had to, I seen it out the corner of my eye. I shouldn't have read that, though. You're hilarious, bro. Yeah, the snow had already passed in our neighborhoods. It's kind of like, I hope it doesn't come back. Yo, I used to live in the Philippines for a long time, and my blood kind of thin, it's thin now. I can't take this cold. I grew up in Cincinnati, I grew up in Alaska, but then I moved around so much, and then when I went to the Philippines, it's my body and my chemistry changed. Now I don't like cold. I can't stand it. You know what I mean? I've changed. You know what I mean? I've changed. Kind of like a lot of these people I'm talking about. They changed on us. They switched up on us. Shadow governments for sure. Amy. Yeah, Amy's crazy, dude. What about all people? What do you mean by that? Who's punching you? So it depends on what you're talking about. Like, if you do any type of boxing training or judo training, judo is like wrestling, so that's not necessarily it. But like Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, full sparring, sometimes with pads, sometimes without pads. This is what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? I like to get beat up. I do. I do. I do. I do. I do. I hate the code for sure. So, back to what I was talking about. Right now, the U.S. government is making sure that we get as many Somali immigrants out of our country. Also, including Somali immigrants. You know who else we don't want here in this country? I'm just talking about as speaking as if I'm part of the silent majority, or I'm part of Trump's cabinet. You know who else we don't want in this country? Who's taking up too much space? Who's acting like the YouTuber that I was just watching. I don't remember his channel name, but if I can remember it, I'll tell you guys next time. But anyways, he was a right-wing Christian, white Trump supporter type, who says that the reason that we want these people out of our countries is because these people they're kind of like Islamic radicals, like they call them jihadists, and they want to rape our women and children. So Trump and them, they want Trump and them, they want to get rid of over about 100 to 250 odd thousand Somali immigrants that now reside in the city of Minneapolis, because Minneapolis kind of has like a little Somalia. So they want to get rid of about 250,000 Somalians because they say that they do not carry our values and stuff like that there. So that's one group, minority group that America wants to get rid of. Another minority group that America wants to get rid of is the Haitian community. Trump has already ended the protection status for over 350,000 Haitian immigrants that have come to this country. Trump also wants to end the protection status and has ended the protection status for Venezuelan immigrants that have entered into our country by way of Democrats. You know what I'm saying? But what do y'all feel about all that? Doesn't it seem like the people that he doesn't want in this country all kind of look like me? Though none of them look like him. That's a good point right there. They made coke illegal because they said black men grope white women. That's a very good point. Hold that thought real quick, because I'll forget this point, and then I'm gonna come back to that. Doesn't it seem like everybody that they want out of here looks like me and don't look like him? Isn't that just? But I might be retarded. I might be dumb. I might not know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying retarded as an insult. People know how I talk. For those of y'all that watch me, I'm not saying it as an insult. I'm saying it as an actual contention of intelligence. Maybe I just don't understand policy and how to protect our borders. Maybe I just don't get that. So what I did was I researched how many crimes are committed on average by minority groups or by immigrants compared to American citizens. Because obviously it has to be like a stupid high number. It got to be like, man, it's some Somali people raping a white woman right now. Right now. Tearing through our houses, burning up our basements. That's happening right now. It's got to be happening right now for us to be so strongly against these people, to us to be so strongly against these Haitians, for us to be so strongly against these Venezuelans. It has to be happening on such a large scale that is a national security risk. And when I researched that information, do y'all know what I found? People that support immigrants, people that support immigrants, they say this all the time. And what they say is, and what's true, is that immigrants do significantly less crime than Americans, astronomically. So it's not, it's a lie to say that we have to watch immigrants because they come to this country and they try to kill us. There's just no evidence to support that or back that. It's a lie from the pit of hell. It's a lie. Now, I'm not saying that immigrants can't bring their communist, fascist, socialist, sexist, racist. I'm not saying that people don't come over here with their own premonitions about America or with their own racial prejudices, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that they don't. What I'm saying is that by and large, they don't commit nearly as many domestic terrorist situations or issues like we do as homebred Americans. Black on black crime. So what are you asking me? Are you asking me if black on black crime is an issue? Are you just making it a point of contention that the reason that we got a Trump regime in the first place is because of issues like black on black crime? Let me tell you about black on black crime. And I don't really know what that is, but I'm going to assume you mean when one black community or people who are African American, so they say, they give us all these terms that none of them apply to us. But I'm just going to humor you. Are you saying that it's an issue when one community or a neighborhood commits crimes against members in their own community? Is that what you're saying? So let me just tell you about how the government feels about that and then how I feel about it. So how the government feels about it is they don't give a damn about blacks killing blacks. It's actually better when we do that because it makes their job easier, because all the things that they do to try to kill us anyway doesn't, it's not happening quickly enough. You know what I mean? The war on drugs didn't incarcerate enough of our men like they intended it to, even though it incarcerated over 40 to 50% of our war age working class men. The war on drugs didn't do that, even though it criminally prosecuted black men on a higher average than whites. Even though we were doing and selling the same drug, just crack. You put some baking soda in it and then it makes it crack. But coke is still, all you gotta do is add some baking soda to it and then it's crack. But you got way more time selling crack than you did selling coke. So anyways, to answer your question about black on black crime, black on black crime isn't anything that's unique. There's all ethnic groups commit crimes against each other, especially when they're in proximity of one another. What am I saying in simple words? Everybody kill everybody when we living together. Everybody rapes everybody. I'm saying in your own community, that's what people do. It's usually people of the same social class that commit crimes against each other. People of the same economic classes that commit crimes against each other. It's not such a thing where blacks commit way more crime than everybody else. What happens is that we get prosecuted higher than anybody else. We get prosecuted higher than anybody else. And that comes from the ending of slavery on paper and the beginning of institutionalized slavery through Jim Crow and through mass incarceration and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, I'm missing some of y'all's. My bad, y'all. Let me make sure I missed some of y'all comments. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate y'all being here on this Wednesday night. They want you to be crazy. They want you to be angry. They want you to be upset. But when you are in a state of praise, when you're in a state of worship, when you're in a state of thankfulness, just for being able to do this right now, you can't be upset. You can't be depressed. You gotta shake that out your body. You gotta get that out your system. You gotta get that out your system. Let me read some of y'all comments before I move on to my next point. I know this one is a little bit more chaotic than other lives. One of the reasons because I just recently received this information, and two, because I like having fun with y'all. But y'all don't mind me, but mind me, because what I'm saying is true. Shit lame, they cool people. They may, I already read that, Trump moving different. This was the first agenda from the first term. Amy, for more snow Friday, winter isn't even here yet. You got a point. He is moving everyone out the country, and they are a majority not white. Let me stop on that point very briefly. So, because it goes along with what I was just talking about. So when I did the research, like, by and large, how many crimes are committed by immigrants as opposed to American citizens? And again, the numbers, they don't classify things particularly by race, so they say. I mean, even though the CIA and the FBI do that, they got those numbers, that they like to skew and mess with. But anyways, by and large, just crime in general, Americans, we do this shit. We do this shit, not the people that's coming over. Then I also researched about how many white immigrants, and this is about race. How many white immigrants come into this country illegally, or either if they didn't enter illegally, they have overstayed their visas illegally, which is illegal. How, like, by and large, how often does that happen? Around 250,000 a year. 200 to 350,000 a year, white. That's coming from Canada and any type of European country. About 250,000 to 350,000 a year. Hey, don't take my word for it. Go look it up for yourself. So what I'm saying to you is that it's not an isolated issue. That if we really want to talk about protecting our borders, we're being selective with who we're protecting them from. It's also how many Somalians do you know that interfere with our election, that have been known to interfere with our elections? How many Haitians do you know that have been known to interfere with our elections? How many Russians do you know that have interfered with our elections? They're one of the main people that have been known to infiltrate our voting systems and stuff like that. If we need to be watching anybody, we need to be watching them. How many Ukrainians have overstayed their visas that we're praying for? That their kids get to go to school for free and get free healthcare, just like Israel and shit like that there. How many of them are staying over here on visas that expired 24 months ago? The number is about 250,000 plus yearly. So what I'm saying to you is that this country is outwardly prejudiced, outwardly biased. We don't keep the same energy for everybody. We don't. So, we don't keep the same energy for everybody. You want me to go crazy, so I'm going to meet you there. I'm going to get there first. We do not keep the same energy for everybody. We do not. I'll read some more comments. Venezuela, I can understand some of them people crazy. I don't disagree with you that, again, I'll say this again. I don't disagree with you that some of these people are dangerous, that some of these people carry, dark practices that they bought from their home country. I don't disagree with you. But you can't just single out Latino people as being crazy. You can't just single out white people as being crazy. You can't just single out black people as being crazy. Everybody's crazy, bro. That's what makes this country so great. The idea of this country so great is because this was supposed to be a country that was, the idea of the country is supposed to be a country that is beneficial and is fair for all people because we all come from crazy places. So this is supposed to be a melting pot of ideas, freedoms, and sovereignty. Because all of us are crazy. Everybody's crazy, bro. Everybody's crazy, bro. We were just killing each other to get our point across not that long ago. And we still doing it to this day. But I'm talking about on U.S. soil. Everybody's crazy, bro. Everybody's crazy, bro. Everybody's crazy. What's your religion? My religion is just no religion. Really, I'm just so explicit. I just hope the brain make me say, Jesus Christ. No religion, I'm just so explicit. I coexist in places you would never know existed. What? Solo here. I don't subscribe to any doctrine of religion. I do tend to lean more towards Christianity because I am a follower of what we know in the English translation as Jesus Christ. I'm a follower of his teachings and his principles and his philosophies and the way that he thinks. So I tend to lead more towards Christian values. However, I don't subscribe to any religion because even though Jesus was a Jew, he was not a religious person. He directly connected to his father, and he went against the Pharisees and the religious doctrines. The Pharisees, meaning like the religious leaders and the people that we look up to, and the people that speak for us. He went against them during his day. So I'm not inclined to be any religious sect. My great uncle was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He is one of the co-founders of the Nation of Islam. I'm not an Islam. I'm not an Islam. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not none of this stuff because all of this stuff I find leads to idolatry, leads to just leads to being religious instead of being connected with God. And I don't want to be religious. I don't want to have a religious spirit. I want to have a righteous spirit. And I believe I do. That might have went over your head. But I believe you're an intelligent person. You can feel me. You know what I'm saying? It's true. Like the Venezuelan gangs in Colorado. Yeah, man. Like the Venezuelan gangs in Colorado. I'm not saying it's not an issue, but then we also got, again, in my own city, we also have shadow factors of Nazis that haven't been classified as domestic terrorists. We also got shadow factors of Ku Klux Klan members that are on parliament, that are in members that have members of professional society that we are unaware of that are domestic terrorists. What am I saying? I'm gonna say it in simpler words. We have white people who dress up and hide their faces, who operate amongst us, that wish anybody who is not them harm. And we aren't able to identify them because they wear masks. So just as dangerous as the Venezuelan gangs are that have infiltrated our country because of the Democrats, just how dangerous they are, we also historically have a original dangerous problem, which is the white nationalists that has existed in our country that has never been classified as a terrorist. That's who's dangerous. That's the big gang right there. A lot of them are on the police force. A lot of them are in the national services. A lot of them are your doctors, your lawyers, your paralegals, your judges. A lot of them are them. And that's what makes something insidious when it's behind the scenes and you can't put a face to it. That's what makes it very, 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 very dangerous. Very dangerous. Welcome in, everybody. For those of y'all that's going to be watching this back, we're talking about how we live in the most openly prejudiced country in the world. I would say since Reagan, because Reagan Reagan was a racist butthead. Reagan was horrible. Reagan was not a good person. Reagan was one of the worst presidents we've ever had. Reagan was a. I'm prohibiting myself from using the C word, which I know what I want to say. It rhymes with blunt. Reagan was a blunt at the C. Reagan was one of the worst things to ever happen to my country. Reagan was one of the issuers of kind of like this great divide that we see in the country between races, as far as who gets, moving into more progressive times from the 60s and 70s and Jim Crow and stuff like that, moving into progression. That's why you got a Reagan, because he introduced Reaganomics. He introduced policies, stop and frisk. He introduced policies that reinforced Jim Crow. So that question earlier that I got, are we still in slavery? Yes, because these people don't know how to let go. So Trump and his cabinet, we kind of like had some time in between where we were kind of like getting back to a place of fairness, and they, no child left behind. What's the stuff that white people didn't used to like that they said was unfair and caused them to lose jobs? You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about, guys. My mind's kind of blanking right now. No child left behind. They just ended it. Maybe one of y'all gonna say it. Maybe one of y'all gonna say it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Where I gotta hire this many. I gotta make sure my workplace is diverse. What's that called? Anyways, yeah, Reagan and them, they, Bush and them, they implemented policies like that white people didn't like. They said it was unfair and stuff like that there. So anyways, we're just now getting away from Jim Crow and stuff like that, but also Reagan and what they did. He was a Hollywood, I will call him a bastard. He was a Hollywood bastard, bro. just like Trump, a Hollywood bastard. So, you know, that's kind of where we're at with that. I can't think of the name though. With the policies that allow, this DEI stuff that they're so against, you know, that. So until I think about that, I'm gonna have to come back to you. I already answered the black on black. Skip my question. The pop culture, that's pop culture. Why do you think they push the negative rap on black communities? It's obvious. So the reason that we have, and again, people, I'm not forgetting. This is a part of my show that I like to implement. I like to answer questions and stuff like that. There, not only because it helps pushes the time, but then also I get to see how you guys think, and then I also get to add those points or show how these points relate to what we're talking about in general. So it's 10:10. I appreciate all of y'all being here. Don't forget to double tap that screen, like, comment, share, subscribe. We are the biggest, by the way. So I appreciate you being here. That's pop culture. Why do you think they push the negative rap on black communities? So that's an obvious thing. So what you have here, and what Jim Crow was a great. Jim Crow was like one of the most successful racists of modern times, and what he did was he wrote a manual on how to captivate the mind intellectually, spiritually, and emotionally of the black, and basically you enslave them emotionally and spiritually. You've enslaved them with it, whether you have them physically bonded or not. So what we got going on now with this hip hop stuff is it's obvious because it's the most because our story is the most influential in the world. So when you have the control of our community, you have essentially control of the world and how the world gets down. Black culture is world culture, is pop culture. So, why do you need to push negative epitoires, negative agendas through black music? Because you want to control the world. Lee R. Cohen, one of the owners of 300. 300 Entertainment is one of the industries that one of the major labels that signed some of your favorite rappers, like Young Thug, like Chief Keef, Lil Durk. Just the real nonsense shit, the real bullshit, the real aggressive drill rap shit, the real that stuff. Lee R. Cohen is one of the owners of that label, and he got interviewed about 7 years ago on the Breakfast Club. They asked him, why do you support music when why do you support music that negatively affects black people? Why do you support music and find artists that rap about killing black people, that rap about stealing from black people, that rap about calling black girls and young women bitches and hoes? And why do you support stuff like that? Because if we start talking about that with Jewish women, with Jewish men, with Jewish young women, you people don't allow that. You sue. So why do you allow that for us? Why do you support that, rather? Why do you financially support that? And you know what his answer was? Because he doesn't value us as people. But he did give us an honest response. And I appreciate him for that. You know what his response was? His response was, hey, man, I got to feed my family too. I got mouths to feed too. That was his response. Had I been in charge of the program of Breakfast Club, he would have been escorted out of my office that day on his head. So I'm just telling you, this is how our people think about. This is how people think about us. They like looking at us as pure forms of entertainment. They like looking at us as pure forms of being a joke. They like looking at us as being a joke. Lee R. Cohen said that. It's not a theory, or it's not a, what's the word, conspiracy that, that these people actively seek out people who are destructive to the group that they're rapping about. It's not a theory. It's not a guess. It's a factual statement. So that's that. Hello, tribe. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to double tap that screen, like, comment, share, subscribe. We are the biggest, by the way. So I appreciate y'all being here on this Wednesday. Hump Day, lovely special, because what a time to be alive. It's a time to be alive because we have, they try to say we in some of the most darkest times. We in Revelation. We in the end times. All this. They try to say all this. But never before in known history have we been able to communicate on such a way such as this. Never before in history have we all been brought together by the love of God and the Most High. Never before in recent times have we been able to share our testimonies with each other like this. So as much as they try to say that we're in the end times and people try to be so cynical and say that, things are only going to get worse, we are only getting better. I know y'all hear me. We are only getting better. So from one fellow human being on this journey of life that chose to come back here and have my spirit speak to you, it's a pleasure to see you because I've known you my whole life. I've known you before I was born. So it's a pleasure to be here in this cosmic journey with you. I'm almost going to move on to my next topic in just a second, but I got to finish y'all comments. All right. Solar are real. Solar is out of here, bro. Solar is so I used to go by the name Giovanni. Like if you research Giovanni with 3 eyes on like all social, like on music platforms and stuff like that, like I made like so much music and I made like so much stuff, but I didn't make $1 off of just my name. I didn't make $1. I made way more money being Solarman than I ever did as being Giovanni. And it's like crazy, so again, this version of me, this chapter is completely spirit filled and spirit led, and it's not me who's talking to y'all. This is different. This is something different. Giovanni was the one I was talking to y'all when I was Giovanni. Like I was trying to make I was Giovanni. I thought I had it all going on. It didn't work out like that. They're working inmate in fast food restaurants and not paying them down south. Yeah, that's what we addressed in our one video when we were speaking on, and that's I appreciate you doing that because that leads me back to my topics. When I just stated to you that over 350,000, I said 250,000, but it's estimated between 250 and 350. I know that's 100,000 odd difference, but these are the numbers: about 250 to 350,000 non-black immigrants are in this country illegally. So, and then I estimated about how many black immigrants enter this country illegally. The number is significantly lower. It's about 75,000 odd, about 75 to 100,000. So significantly lower in those areas. And then again, the numbers from immigrants that commit crimes on American soil against, buying in the same areas that we frequent, immigrants that commit crimes in these areas based on Americans that commit crimes in these areas. Americans still triumph over immigrants in crime relations. We commit more crimes per capita. There's more of us, of course, but I'm talking about in these areas where these immigrants are concentrated. We still commit most of the crimes. What I'm saying to you is most of these immigrants, I don't speak for everybody, most of these immigrants, though, they come for a better opportunity. They don't come to commit trouble. And we are racially biased as a country on who we want to get out of here and who we point the finger as to being to blame. All I know is I better plug this phone up because I don't know about y'all, but these iPhones have been tripping. I guess they want me to buy or update my phone to the latest version. But it's like me, I'm kind of like old school. Like if something works, I'm going to keep letting it work until the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? Like I don't like just buying something just because something new came out. Like, and how often are they going to do that, y'all? Like how often are they going to finesse us into buying these new phones, these iPhones? Like they gonna come out with a new iPhone every single year. Like how long you gonna go for the finesse? How long are you gonna get an iPhone until like iPhone 7030? Like, are you gonna keep doing that? Like, are you gonna keep doing that? Anyways, we gotta move over here for the rest of the show. Anyways, Appreciate all of y'all being here. Don't forget to double tap that screen. We are the biggest, by the way. So I appreciate you being here. I'm gonna have to hold it for a little bit. I agree with you. You're right. Right on. I'm crazy. LOL. Search the book of wisdom, bro. I've read some of that. Dollar Tree. I don't know what you mean. Amy, I thought I was going crazy. LOL. Dollar Tree. Blue. LOL. Solar. How you feel about the Diddy documentary? How they were already recording the documentary before the trial started. I talked about Diddy about 2 episodes ago, but I'll address that very briefly. How do I feel about it? I feel not only did Diddy do everything that he was accused of and more, we're just like catching like the back end of everything he's been accused of. But then I also feel and I know that Diddy is just being used as a scapegoat for industry sins. Like what I'm saying to you is that if we stone Diddy to death, if we kill Diddy, the image of Diddy, the reputation of Diddy, the legacy of Diddy, if we kill it, we have redeemed ourselves as a community and as an industry. Like getting rid of Diddy will solve all of our problems. That's what he's being used for. Diddy is just a symptom of the industry. Diddy is just a student of Clyde Davis, the homosexual industry music executive tycoon that's responsible for bringing us Michael Jackson, James Brown. So Diddy is just being used as a scapegoat. But did I think he did everything that he got accused of? Yeah, and then some. They still not telling everything. You know what I mean? They telling all the major stuff, but they kind of telling everything. I'll take that back. They kind of telling everything. But yeah, he did all that, dog. So what's the solution? That's a good question. The solution is community organization and community awareness and surveillance. That's the only solution that is appropriate for something like this. So have you guys also, and this is also kind of a good question that goes, so this whole show and episode today, guys, is about the racial biases in this country and how we have selective aggression for different races of people because we have always been a white nationalist country. So the only solution is what the Black Panther Party wanted to do, which was unite all people under God and unite all people under the idea that they're not just coming for me and my community and my people. They're coming for you too. They're affecting you too. What they're doing is they're operating your community against my community because it's the old bait and switch type of thing. It's the old Oklahoma play. You know what I mean? It's the old fake out. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know what I mean? So if I'm in charge, right, and I'm rich, and in order, but the only way for me to keep being rich is if I got people protecting me and keep bringing me money. I got to tell the people that look like me that everybody else who don't look like us is the enemy. Even though I'm stealing everything from you and I'm making you do all the hard work and I'm not paying you and I don't care if you live or die. That's what's going on. I could have said that better, but that's the best way it came out right now. We're getting there, though. We still cooking. We still cooking today. We still cooking. So what's the solution? Back to that. So what the solution is a complete community organized response from everybody. It cannot just be the Black community with the Black community, Latino community for the Latino community, whites for whites. It can't be like that because nobody will win. Nobody will. We'll kill it. Everybody will die. And we're too interracially interbred and intermarried for that ever to last on a long scale. You might look at me and think I'm interbred. I'm not. I'm blickety black. I don't look it, but we come in all shades, people. We do. We come in all shades, people. I'm blickety black. But I'm saying that to say the response is not to exclude each other. The response is to watch over each other. That's the only solution, is to watch over one another and police all of our neighborhoods. White, black, red, brown. We're all different shades of wheat, so I don't subscribe to those colored things, but because this is what I mean by this. This is how we all in the same boat. Let a natural disaster happen that affects everybody. We all get brought down to the same playing field. Your $300,000 house doesn't mean shit anymore, does it? You know, so that's your evidence for unity. Because let your house burn down. You don't care who helps you, do you? Let your children get kidnapped. Let your wife get raped. Let your son get murdered in the street. You don't care who helps you, do you? So that's the evidence for a unified response. You know what I'm saying? That's the evidence for a unified response for sure. Guns blue. I don't know what you mean by that. Look up Book of Wisdom. I think you just commented that, didn't you? Should we start a cult? Yo, should we start? You know, I never sat over here. Let me sit over here just like for like 1 second. Y'all see my mirrors? Yeah, my house. I got a nice house, y'all. Y'all see my house? Yeah. Should we start a cult? No. I resent the cult etymology, the word of cult. I resent it. Um, because a resistance revolution is not cultish. It's righteous. So I don't think we need to start anything that's cultish, because that suggests that we all have a unified leader as a spiritual guide. You know, that's what cults have. They all have a single leader or leaders that are their spiritual guides. I'm not trying to be your leader. No, I'm not. I don't have the patience. I don't have the want to. You know, but I'll organize with you. I'm a good organizer. I'll organize with you, and I'll take up my arms with you as well. I'll bust my gun for you too. I'll take a punch in the chin for you too, right next to you. And I hope you do the same for me. I'll watch over your kids as you watch over mine. I'll give you, not loan you. I'll give you. Well, there's nothing wrong with loaning. It's just when you impose interest on it. I'll loan you bread so you can loan me back rubber. You know, community response is the only solution to tyranny. Community response is the only solution to fascism. Community response is the only solution. Community response is the only solution. Community response. Amy, I agree. I need to build my collection. We also need some armor. Yeah. So that goes along with the answer that I just gave. What's the solution? The solution is the community response. Everybody can't be a soldier. Everybody's not a soldier, bro. Everybody's not a fighter, bro. Everybody's not everybody's not a teacher. We need teachers to be teachers. We need doctors to be doctors. We need nurses to be nurses. We need soldiers to be soldiers. So all you tough ones, all you tough people, we need y'all to be tough for your people now. We need you to be tough for your people now. I better go back to the charger. Let me go back to the charger. Because this phone don't be playing. Let me go back to the charger. So everybody has a role to play in the revolution isn't something that's anti-American. The revolution is something that is pro-American, because when you have a government that actively goes something else too that goes with my point that this government particularly is the worst government in most recent times, is the most racist and white nationally leading regime in recent history, because the ICC, the International Criminal Court, where people who commit crimes against humanity, that's how we hold dictators and stuff like that, and kings and stuff accountable. That's how we hold these countries accountable when they commit crimes against their people. It's places like the ICC, the International Criminal Court. What they just decided is that they're going to prosecute Trump come 2029 after he leaves. And what Trump and his administration just did is they said, we're going to sanction you people, meaning we're not going to give any funding to this court. We're going to remove our U.S. support away from this court if you people don't guarantee that you're going to drop the charges that are against Trump. So that right there just lets me know that these people are criminals. These people know that they're criminals, and these people don't care. They're criminals. And the language that I'm using, I almost wish I could be screaming at this phone. I used to scream. Y'all know me. I used to yell and stuff, but that's not the best method of communication. And I don't have that energy anymore. There's multiple ways to skin a cat. This is the way I'm telling you. I'm telling you what's going on. They're suing the International Criminal Court, and they're demanding that they drop charges, crimes against humanity charges against Trump, in order for us to keep backing with U.S. support stuff that helps keep people like Trump in line, keep dictators in line. Denmark also has recently, and Denmark is one of our closest allies, even though they do a lot of blackface stuff. They got chocolates that are in the shape of black faces, because cannibalism used to be a real thing. But then also, these people are infatuated with black people. But then also, because they're racially kind of like stuck in the past, and like their culture is kind of like retarded a little bit too. Anyways, what they also just recently did was that they also just identified U.S. as a national security threat too, because of a growing concern of a fascist, right-winged indoctrination in the country. Even so, what I'm saying to y'all is everybody else see it. It's just us that's living here that's debating on whether this shit is cool or not. Everybody else see what's going on. It's just us that live here that is like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. Trump is a businessman. He's good for business. National security is very important. These people believe in protecting our borders. This is good. Trump is good for America. Nah, bro. Amy, I agree. You need to build my collection, blah, blah, blah. And don't forget the snacks. But Blue, you're right. It's kind of started with Hollywood Reagan. Yep. Hell yeah, Amy. If shit gets real, I'm picking you up. LOL. Yep. It's called bullshit. Yep. Union used to do it with races and women. Yep. The union. So that's another thing too. Like, this white people love saying this shit. We fought a war of it. So you people keep crying about racism and slavery. We fought a war to end it. No, you fought a war to unite all people so we could protect ourselves against foreign threats. That's why you did it. That's why you did it. You didn't do it because you see me as an equal. You did it because it's better if we fight together than if we fight separated. And internationally, courts and stuff like that would not back us if we continue to fund slavery. That's why you did it. You didn't do it because you like me. Even when we were in free states, we still had to fight separately amongst whites. We could not eat the same. We could not sleep the same. Oftentimes, our tents, our uniforms, our food rations were severely malnourished, were severely short. The list goes on. Even though I fought and died for this country too, let alone, let's fast forward when we came back home from World War I, II, III, you know what I'm saying? Not three, but Vietnam, the Korean conflict, let alone when we came back from that and we still faced racial prejudices in our neighborhood, when we still got lynched, when we still got our houses set on fire, when we still had domestic terrorism from whites. We are still the same country. We have not advanced. And anytime we do trying to make advancements or trying to make things equal on a level playing field, white people get mad. They say it's divisive. They say that's racist. Pizzagate Slower. I don't know what that means, dog. 1010, where you from? I'm from Virginia. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, since my mama had me. I changed my city I changed my city like every 5 years. Look how I made it happen. I'm from Dallas, Oak Cliff, Texas. Oak Cliff, the big cliff, not the little one. I'm from Anchorage, Alaska. I'm from Dumaguete, Philippines. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm from everywhere, bro. I'm American. I'm a real American. I'm from everywhere, bro. I'm in Cincinnati right now, though. Because hip-hop's, it began with black. Everything begins with black, bro. Everything's black, bro. I just found out Elvis' grandson raps. Yeah, I mean, he's just like his granddaddy. Elvis got his whole style, his whole lingo, his whole hip movement. Okay, you gotta win this race. He got his whole cadence from black. So, I mean, why wouldn't his grandson raps? That's basically what Elvis did. Elvis was the first white boy rapper. Elvis was the first white boy rapper, and they call him the king of pop. You see what they do? I'm not here to debate over shit like that, though. I don't care about, I don't care about the semantics of who we celebrate, because I'm aware of history. But it's just interesting though that it's interesting though who we celebrate though, because the people that we celebrate classically as being the founders or being the originators of a craft, they will tell you themselves that they didn't start nothing. Elvis will tell you themselves. The Beatles will tell you themselves. Rolling Stone will tell you themselves. Pink Floyd and all of them will tell you themselves. They copied blacks. They were cover art bands. They will tell you themselves. But what America does is because it has an agenda. The West has an agenda to support white superiority and white nationalism. What they'll do is tell you, Elvis Presley was a king of rock and roll. He was a king of rock and roll. He was the greatest ever. The Rolling Stones, the Beatles, they were classics when they just followed the effeminate gay black man that started rock and roll. Little Richard. I don't know. You tell me. I know where I am though. I'm in an illusion. I'm in a mirage. I'm in a place that's supposed to be good for you, but once you get behind those gates and the gates lock, and those soldiers escort you to your quarters, you realize where you at. I'm in that movie. I realize where I'm at. Welcome in, everybody, by the way. I'm reading comments right now, but what we're talking about is this is the most racially prejudiced and biased country in the Western world, in the known world, since Ronald Reagan and Reaganomics. And people like Lyndon B. Johnson, who were just like extreme, who he was a member of the Ku Klux Klan as well. So this is, the numbers keep fluctuating every time I talk about race and stuff like that, but I don't care, man. It's the truth. Don't forget to double tap that screen, by the way. Like, comment, share, subscribe, because we are the biggest, by the way. Early in the live, FPG Butter was messing with my shit. So now that I got FPG Butter up out of my Wi-Fi, I think we're good to go now. Now that we don't have to deal with no FPG Butter. I think we're good to go now. Now that we don't have to deal with no FPG Butter. You know FPG Butter, right? Like 2 months ago, he said, fuck me, under one of my videos. And, I never met him in my life. But he's just a hater. He's just an example of that... of the conditioning of the American propaganda system, where it puts blacks against blacks, whites against white. He's just a follower of that, an idiot. So that's why he said fuck Solarman. So anytime something happens in my life, my lights start flickering, or my Wi-Fi go out, or my phone drop, that's FBG Butter for sure. You know what I mean? It gotta be. When you're a hater, all right. Exactly my point. Control the narrative, control the people. Yep. When I was a kid, I used to feel the evil energy from DMX's music. When I found out he was really battling demons, like one of his chicks was a real witch, I couldn't believe it. So I'm not aware of one of his chicks being a witch. That's very interesting. You know who somebody else chick was and I'm gonna go back to DMX. You know who somebody else's chick was a real witch that used to pray over the stadium and pray over the ball and him before he went into his games, and he ended up winning seven Super Bowls. Tom Brady, his wife, that model skinny. I'm not gonna cook her, but her, she was a self-proclaimed, she's a witch. So witchcraft in the industry and success is not a separate, it's synonymous. Most of these people, either them or somebody that they're closely associated with, whether that be a manager, whatever the spiritual advisor, whatever the case may be, they're associated with a witch or a warlock. So I'm not against you, or I'm not surprised by that. Also, one of the first rappers that I grew up listening to, one of my mother's favorite rappers that I used to listen to in the car every single day, Blood of My Blood, you know what I'm saying, D was DMX. He is a very demonic rapper. Why do you think he's fought so hard to fight for his soul and to talk to God every day, towards the end of his life? Really, all throughout his career, he was very open and honest with what he would do. Same thing with Nasir. Nas would be rapping and then he'd be talking about drinking blood and stuff like that. Y'all think they just be rapping or they be telling the truth? I don't know. I saw them videos of Spirit cooking when all them celebrities was around bodies that shaped like cakes and they eat it. Kanye West, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Rihanna, ASAP Rocky. That's just to name a few. Yeah. Facts. The end is the beginning. Affirmative action. Affirmative action. Thank you. Jesus, peace, Jesus, peace. I couldn't remember that term for the life of me in the beginning of this. Affirmative action. You know, because in this country we've had to make things. We've had to have what's called civil laws passed to make the way that we engage with each other as different races and different factions and different religions of people. We had to make laws in order to make these things civil. Affirmative action. White people hated affirmative action so much that they considered Bush and people like that as fascists because they are enacting policies that go against American and his people. Hold on, what percent? I'm going back over here. American and his people. Affirmative action. How do y'all feel about there needing to be policies passed in order to just make things civil? And then furthermore, if you think that's a good thing, how do you feel about them taking it away? Because they say it's divisive. They say it's racially inclined, which it is. It has to be racially inclined. Everything that was done in this country has been racially motivated. The reason that we don't have universal health care is because of racism. No, literally, because of racism. No, literally, because of racism. So after slavery and the Emancipation Proclamation, when right before Jim Crow, when things was equal for blacks for about 2 seconds, universal Abraham Lincoln wanted to introduce universal health care for all American citizens, and one of the things that he got assassinated for was that. Because how dare you suggest that these people are people? So Abraham Lincoln never got to, or maybe he did pass it, and we had universal health care for like 5 seconds. And then after he died, and his successor, the vice president came about, who was a member of the Ku Klux Klan himself, and was also extremely racially biased. He put it in all that. And then after him is when you get Jim Crow and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So everything is racially motivated, bro. So why would we need, affirmative action? Is because everything has been racially motivated. And in order to keep the races in check, and really it's just a silent majority, there's no community that's known for attacking white people. Historically speaking, the white communities have been known for attacking other communities. That's true. I would never want to trade this time with a real slave. Hell no, I stick with shit of today. Yeah, bro. We have no idea. So I want you all to go research somebody by the name of Adam. Was it Adam LaVey? That's the head of the Church of Satan. Not him. It's the woman from New Orleans. They did a whole episode about her in American Horror Story too. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I want y'all to go research her. She was one of the worst. Well, not worst. But she was kind of normal, but even people around her was like, damn, she brutal against black people. I can't remember her name. Anyways, she had a torture chamber in her house though. Most of them did, but most of them, they weren't like insidiously like happy to torture their slave. Like she looked forward to it. But anyway, she had a torture chamber in her attic that you can still go visit to this day in New Orleans, where she would hang black men by their genitals. and she would hang pregnant women by their bellies, or hang them upside down and then cut their bellies open over fires and stuff like that, and let the fetus slide out. She would cook men and women and eat them. She would. The list goes on. So why do you need civil laws? Because the spirit of her still exists in America. That's why. And that's a bar. The spirit of her, the spirit of her still exists in America. And that's a bar. You over there, that's a bar. That's a bar. Her spirit still exists in America. Oh my goodness, like I can't get away from my charger for like 5 seconds. Jeez, oh peas, dude. My man Packer Gamer. I don't know who that is. We're only getting better. That's a fact. Blue, I stay right here. Yeah, putting in Amy is Pack Live. Yo, who the heck is Pack? Yo, Solar, what happened to your album that got removed on your YouTube? 3 months in Taipei. Been looking for that song for the last couple months. Oh, you been listening, dog? So a lot of my stuff I'm revamping and I'm re-releasing at Solarman. That's why I got my own space and stuff like that, because this is where this is my plan. My intention is to not only have this as a content house, which it is, but then also have this as the headquarters for my label, where I'm gonna put out artists and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like, I'm doing what 607 Unc doing, but on my level. You feel me? Like, and I'm actually gonna benefit the people. I'm not gonna like try to bully you or like try to make you feel uncomfortable for content and shit. Like, like that nigga. Like, so it's cool that way. I'll be re-releasing it though, to answer your question. I'm re-releasing it. I just want to record more music. Like, I'm tired of releasing old music. Like that song is like 5 years old. Like, it's new to y'all, but it's old to me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've been kind of like just trying to like get everything together and put out the best product as possible. It's so many comments though. I'm trying to get back to my topics. I'm gonna read all these comments and then I'm gonna get back to my topics and I'm gonna close out. But just stay tuned. And if you guys ever want to be a part of the content house, you ever want to do content with me, you ever want to work, you ever want to build your own platform, whatever the case may be, all you got to do is hit me up on social media at Solarman with 3 N's, and we can do whatever y'all want to do. Just let me know. I appreciate y'all being here though, by the way, on this Wednesday hump day special. I hope you smiling. And if you don't have a reason to smile, I want you to smile for this reason, that you're able to be here, right now, not just with me, but that you're able freely to use Wi-Fi and to not only get some information, but get a little laugh out too, get a little smile out too, get a little frustration out too. You're able to exercise freedom, because not everywhere in the world people can do this. Not at all times in history have people been allowed this type of freedom. So be grateful for the little things, and that'll get you a lot. Shit's a vibe. Nah, facts. I ain't gonna lie, that's one of my favorite songs. 3 nights in Taipei. It was 3 nights in Taipei. It was. I've been waiting all year for the summertime. Facts on bro. They pointing finger at him like Epstein. Yeah. All these people are scapegoats, bro. Epstein, he was just like Epstein was like a white Diddy, bro. That's all he was. He was just a cool guy. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he was a cool guy. Like, I agree with what he did. I'm just saying, like, he was he brought people together. He was a club promoter. Y'all arresting the club promoter. What about the people that went to the club? What about the people that went to the parties? What about them? In order for me to throw a party, I gotta have people that show up. I'm just the organizer of the chaos. I am not the cause of the chaos. And it's a system that it protects these people. That's why they're not releasing all the names, because they look at all these names like, damn, I'd have to arrest myself. I'm not gonna arrest myself. You know what I mean? Yep, it's all distractions. You ain't black, you Japanese. LOL. 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 LOL is all I gotta say to that. LOL. Fashion. How did you get your nice house? What do you do? I ball. What I do is I do content creation. I also make music. I also operate and own several of my own small businesses. I also am a boss. I also make good financial decisions. I also am financially literate. I also do this every day. So I was able to have my own content home. I also have another property that is in Dallas. That one is a family home. I'm not gonna lie, but it's property and it's an asset. So that's what I do. I ball. I ball. Yeah, we ball. I'm a baller. That's what I do. I'm a baller. Shot caller. I'm feeling myself today. I ain't gonna lie, because they want me to be sad. They want me to be mad. And just to recap what we talked about today, guys. For those of you guys gonna be watching this back, like, man, what the freak? This guy can't never stay on topic. This guy. I'm always on topic. I'm always aware. But what we talked about, what we're talking about today, is the racial prejudices that have allowed one federal our federal courts, our Trump administration has decided to remove funding and regulation over companies illegally dumping their trash in minority communities. So that affects my community, illegally dumping their trash in my communities. And then also, we have a faxation with removing illegal immigrants, particularly black immigrants, out of our country, Somali immigrants, Haitian immigrants, and then the quote unquote war on gangs in America through the deployment of fascist regimes like ICE coming into our neighborhoods and forcibly removing people based on their racial identity. If they look like they from Venezuela, or they look like they Haitian, or they look like they Somalian, coming into our neighborhoods and pressing us full court. That's what's going on right now. Full court. Full court. They're pressing us full court. And I'm just saying, we did the numbers. It's about 200 to 350 odd thousand illegal white immigrants that are here, war age criminals, war age fighting men, Russians, who are known to historically hack our systems, our water systems, our electric systems, our voting systems. We don't. I'm not saying that anybody should be harassed, but I'm saying they don't get harassed. Is all I'm saying. By ICE is all I'm saying. People that look like ICE don't get harassed. Is all I'm saying. And these people have the backing of the federal courts behind them to harass you. And the only way you can fight against something like that is to community organize yourself. Every man, woman, chicken, child. Same thing I was talking about that content creator, that right winged Christian content creator. These people, they actually believe. Some of them, I'll say on the lower levels, actually believe that they're operating in the blessings of God, and they're operating, in the divine promises of the Lord. When really they're all followers, and they're all part of the Church of Satan, and they're all gonna meet a burning end. And they believe that they're right. You got people that actually believe that they're doing the right thing by harassing me. That's interesting, isn't it? I think you got ADHD. I got it too. Stop trying to diagnose me, boy. Stop trying to break me down to where you understand me, boy. You can't put me in no box, boy. Talking about I got ADHD. What is that? What does that even mean? Do we even understand these terms that we throw around? These Western terms for spiritual phenomena, do we even understand them? Do you know what that means? Attention hyphenated, AD, attention deficit hyphenated disorder. I got a disorder? You think I'm disorderly? I would say no, sir. I would say I'm not disorderly. I would say that I got a spirit in me. I would say I got that spirit in me. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. And for those of y'all that's gonna be watching this, that might be coming over from Paul, from the interview I did with Understand the Conspiracy. You might be like, this guy's goofy. Yeah, I am. But if you stay long enough, you're gonna get some information too. So I appreciate all of y'all that's being here. I appreciate y'all that's gonna be watching this back. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget to double tap the screen because that just helps us push the algorithm, by the way. So I appreciate you being here. It's a nice house. Shalom. Really smart people have what they label ADHD. Oh, I appreciate you saying that, Mama Joe. But I wouldn't consider myself smart at all. If anything, I'm just aware. You know what I mean? I'm just really, 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 really aware. You know what I mean? I'm really aware. And I hate liars, and I hate manipulators, and I hate bullies. So for that purpose, I have built this platform, and I will continue to expand the platform to expose and to heal my people domestically and abroad. But I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you saying that. Makes me feel all warm inside. It does. I agree, Nikki. I think about stuff that no one thinks about. I can relate as well. It's like what to do with all this shit. LOL. But that keeps you up at night, Blue, cause your brain don't shut up. True. Amy, not me. When I'm ready to go to sleep, I just go. LOL. That's good, Blue. You ever see that movie Dead Presidents? Blah 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 blah. Discrimination also. Blah 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 blah. I think I'm all caught up. Okay, y'all. Now I can finish with my points, and I'm not gonna keep y'all too much longer. I'm gonna go ahead and finish with my points. So, we talked about the illegal trash dumping in black neighborhoods and Latino neighborhoods. We talked about the racial priorities that this country has in order to remove some immigrants but then welcome others. Per example, if we believe in keeping our nation free of people who don't hold our same values, why are we an open sanctuary for people who actively practice in segregation and racial discriminatory practices? Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the white South Afrikaners. Why do we have an open door policy for them when their country was predicated and built upon, their national identity is built upon separation and division through means like apartheid. In apartheid and Nazi Germany, they all got their ideas from Jim Crow. So why are we acting like we just got some morals, righteousness going on when we don't? We like who we like because we want whites to have more babies. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. We want whites to have more babies. That's what's going on. So I want to make sure I didn't miss up all my points though. So let me briefly check and make sure y'all can talk to me though. I appreciate y'all being here on this Wednesday night special. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all being here. And we probably gonna come back tonight too because I got so much to talk to you guys about. Oh yeah, Kendrick Lamar, Rich Spirit. What you know about that Kendrick Lamar, Rich Spirit? Kendrick Lamar, that's my boy, man. One of the reasons I wanted to do music was because of Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar, Joey Badass, Currency, Most Def. You know, definitely Most Def for sure. Eminem. I'm talking about '90s Eminem. I ain't talking about this Eminem. I'm talking about '90s Eminem. He said the most diabolical, crazy stuff, but he was cold. Like his lyrical wordplay was just cold, and like I just wanted to be like that. Like, but Kendrick Lamar, like I related to Kendrick Lamar more because like I could relate to him more, you know. And I was on the West Coast when I first heard Kendrick Lamar. The first time I ever heard Kendrick Lamar, I was in LA in South Central. Can you imagine what that's like hearing Kendrick Lamar for the first time in LA in South Central? I was on Crenshaw and La Brea. That's where we was living at. Well, that's where my cousin and them lived at, and I was staying with them for the summer. We was on Crenshaw and La Brea, like 10 minutes away from the tar pits. And my cousin, he'll play him and this dude named Problem all the time. That's when Kendrick dropped Overly Dedicated. I was 16. He dropped Overly Dedicated. Kill him where they stand over and shake his hand, jump back in that minivan, double back to his block, then blam. I ain't backing down from nothing. I'ma back him down like Shaq was with his black 223 in my hand. Better pray that this chopper jam police radio signal saying that a 187 land on your corner. Coroners come from his mama. Mama, he dead the next morning. I don't know. I don't have conscience. I just load up and start dumping. For enemies, I'm headhunting. Ain't no sympathy, ain't no love. When you in the street, just grab something. I know I just said it fast, but boy, oh 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 boy. Yeah, when I first heard that, I was in South Central LA, and that changed my life. I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. But let me make sure I ain't. Let me make sure I ain't miss out on no points. All right, I talked about that. I talked about that. I talked about that. Oh yeah, I covered everything I was supposed to cover. I'm cold. I'm cold. I covered everything I was supposed to cover. I'm cold. All right, y'all. So, just to briefly recap everything that we talked about today, I appreciate y'all being here. We talked about illegal dumping that has historically been going on in less populated communities, but particularly minority communities, that they're dumping all their trash. These companies are dumping all their trash because it's cheap. Well, it's an effective way to get rid of it, and they usually have very little to any regulation over when they do it, because you can get away with dumping your bullshit off in the hood because it's the hood. Don't nobody care about the hood. It already looks like it's supposed to be trashed up anyway. But if you might be wondering, like, why be all these trash like in the hood like this? Like, are these people just that sorry and that disgusting? Sometimes you can develop a mindset of not taking care of the community that you're from, but then often a lot of times there's something insidious or something behind the scenes that's going on, like these major corporations and big companies allowed to sending their truckers off to the projects, off to the hood, and just saying leave that shit off in the corner somewhere. It's gonna look like a dumpster just came by and just dropped it real quick. And what we used to have is federal protection against that and regulation against that, so they can get serious fines and/or prison time for getting caught doing that. Trump has removed all of that away. So now it's at a point where it's no longer regulated. So now the amount of trash and 10 to 15 years from now, the amount of cancerous and hepatitis reports that you're going to be found in these communities is going to skyrocket. And the only thing that's going to protect us against something like this is not only cleaning up our communities ourselves, but also policing our communities ourselves as people. And it's not going to just be black people doing it. It's not going to just be Latino people doing it. Even though if we unite together, we become a formidable force, but it's going to take all communities to care about this. And usually all communities don't care about nothing because we all have a me first type of thing. But you got to understand that the only reason that you get Ukrainian immigrants with rights, Russian immigrants with rights, Haitian immigrants with some protection under the law. Only reason that all of us are here is because of the sacrifices that were made by the black community. And I'm not saying that we're the saviors of humanity. No, what I'm saying is that all of what we have going on right now has been bought and paid for with the cost of blood and murder from them to us. So we should protect what we have because it's been paid for with a price, at a price. Do you remember the timeline where Overly Dedicated didn't have Janae Aiko as a singer on the first track? Yeah, I remember that. And then he dropped the deluxe version though. So he dropped the original, then he dropped the deluxe version. Where are you going? I'm just knowing you should be open now. And if I could, that's what she said to me. It was just to me. You know what I'm saying? I remember what you talking about. That's the best album ever. Man, you bringing me back to that was some nostalgic times. I was in LA for like the first time since I was a little boy. And like, boy, riding around LA listening to Kendrick like Prime, that's like listening to that Kendrick, Overly Dedicated, Kendrick Lamar, listening to Lucky Problem, a Crit from South Central, but he from Compton, I'm sorry, but that was like an experience, bro. It was a black lady, but that shit don't exist now. Dang, I might have to do some research into that. But also, we talked about a few other things, y'all, and then I'll let y'all go. We talked about a few other things. We also talked about how places like Denmark has now identified this current administration as a national security threat to their own country. You know, Denmark isn't the most non-racially biased place in the world. You know, Denmark, they do blackface constantly. They do it on their platforms like their American Idols and stuff like that. They don't look at it as racist. They look at it as like an ode to blacks. But then they also have like candy and stuff like that where it's shaped in the faces of black people and they eat it. So they have a history of cannibalism as well. Black people every race that's not black is infatuated with blacks. But then there's an element of a lack of respect. So you know what I mean. So anyways, Denmark has identified the U.S. as a national security risk because of what they call a fascist movement growing in the U.S. So again, everybody can see it, but Americans for some reason. So America, one of our biggest allies. Aaron the plumber lied, by the way. He got 200 people and 412 likes on his stuff. It's okay. I'm solo bad, man. I'm on my way. Y'all. I'm on my way. But yeah, that happened with Denmark identifying us as a national security risk. And then furthermore, Trump wants to remove all Somali. He doesn't want them in our country. He said this. He didn't say some, Somali. He said, I don't want them in our country. Okay, cool. Also, we need to get Ukrainian and Russian immigrants out of our country. Also, we need to get Chinese immigrants out of our country. Also, we need to get the original sinners of this land out of our country, which would be British immigrants from the empire out of our country. I mean, if we're gonna get anybody out of our country, like let's make it make sense. You know what I mean? Let's make it make sense. And it's 111, by the way, so I'm not lying. Let's make it make sense. You know what I mean? Let's make it make sense. Welcome to America, people. The solution is community organization. I have presented the facts as I know them today. This is all I have for you currently. I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to double tap that screen, like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Lord willing, peace and high vibrations to you forevermore. Love. God bless.